back, and just to keep it a buck, I think that primarily Tisha is stressed out because she is not living in her truth. She's living a lie, so to speak. And that has to be stressful as fuck. Hey, this is Sensibility Speaks. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, y'all, it is about that time. Let's sip some sensibility, shall we? Let's get into this most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 7, Episode 711, child. Whitlow stay or Whitlow's go. All right, I ain't going over every little thing scene for scene, but I am going to hit some high points that I took some interest in, okay? So I still feel like Tiffany doesn't really have the grace for Kiki because she doesn't like her for whatever reason. So Stormy is playing mediator between Kiki and Tiffany, and she's trying to weather the storm, so to speak, wanting to quell any dissension or discord that the two ladies have because she knows that Kiki might whip Tiffany's ass at any given point. Now, I don't think she will get violent, but still, though, she's just trying to get them to squash their beef. So I still feel like Tiffany doesn't really fully see it for Kiki, and the reason being is I think she looks down on Kiki for whatever reason. So as they're trying to squash things and hash things out, Kiki just really doesn't understand, what is your issue with me? So pretty much in a nutshell, Tiffany feels that Kiki can be confrontational. And for some reason, I don't know why Kiki triggers her, but she feels like she has to match her energy. In a way, I took that she sees Kiki as kind of low vibrational or popping off all the time or always amped up. And she feels like that kind of sets the tone and the mood for her. I'm like, no. Now, and here's my thing. When Kiki is confrontational or when she is amped up is mainly 1,000% toward Letitia. And it has absolutely nothing to do with you, Ms. Mamas. But in my opinion, Tiffany saw Kiki as a low-hanging fruit. And she bantered back and forth and was fucking with her for a storyline because, as you know, Big Lou wasn't really filming because, as we are going to learn, he's not really into the show anymore because they have so much on their plate, and we'll get to that. But I feel like she just came for Kiki because that was the easier target. She wasn't going to come for Melody. And you know damn well she wasn't going to come for Stormy or even Tisha for that matter. Well, she did come for Tisha in some earlier seasons or whatever. But anyway, that's why I think she was coming for Kiki. And I do think she looks down on Kiki because Kiki is battling addiction and it's a battle that she's winning. And even though she says that both her parents struggle with addiction, she doesn't look down on Kiki or judge her because of that. I call it BS. I think she does look down for a multitude of reasons. And as I've read somewhere before, and I don't know if this is 1,000% true, but I wouldn't be totally surprised. I don't know if it's a little colorism thing going on. I don't know. I would hate to think that. When they did the flashback of Tiffany talking to Carlos King, I just didn't like her energy toward Kiki. I'm like, she ain't do nothing to you. Anyway, I just think it's BS, child. And also, it's almost like she sees Kiki as less than or beneath them. And when supposedly she told Melody, why would we hang with her? It's almost like she's beneath them or some shit. I'm just like, girl, bye. Go sit down, Tiffany. So as they end the scene, the ladies did end up squashing their beef. And Tiffany did say she saw another side of Kiki that she hadn't seen before and saw her open up. And Kiki was like, really? But I refuse to believe that you never saw Kiki in a calm demeanor. Not buying it. So they did a flashback when they were at the spa. And Tiffany making a slight comments like, well, anyone who would treat their family like that would treat, me like that. I don't want to be friends with someone like that. Blah, 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 blah. Girl, you just don't have no grace for her because you don't like her for whatever reason. Okay? Ciao. But anyway, she claims that she's open-minded about Kiki and she sees her in a different way. She's glad she listened. But I was laughing when Stormy said that she bought baby Ace to be like her protection. Yeah, I do feel like she bought the baby as a shield just in case some popped off or whatever. But anywho, but it did seem like that Tiffany was at her wit's end, meaning that she was struggling a little bit with the conversation because as we later learned, she's going through postpartum depression. So we'll get into that. But anywho, moving right along. So the scene cuts over to Chris Fletcher going over to visit Martell child, over to what he calls Hope Manor. So y'all notice this is the same house that old Martiana busted down and Coleslaw were actually filming in when they did those little videos, and how she's so happy, he's so happy, child, blah blah blah. Anywho, so I guess her little ass got a skedaddle whenever they got to start filming. Child, her, the baby, and everybody got to be off the premises, okay? I don't know if this was production, was this Martell? I don't even know if he's bright enough, or did this come from Coleslaw? You notice that there's a purse on the counter letting you know of a woman's presence. Y'all see that little gold studded beaded purse or whatever? Child, they ain't slick. So anyway, of course, he's going to ask Martell, why you got them damn glasses on? It look like you've been fighting with Mayweather. He said that he's having surgery on his eyes, and Chris like, what happened to your eyeballs? He was like, I got to get these bags from up under my eyes. It's fatty tissue. Child, that's a vain ass man. I didn't notice that he had like real heavy bags, but he is over 40 now. What is he, 41, about to be 42 coming up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you're going to age a little bit, brother. But anyway, child, whatever. What a shallow ass. But the conversation goes on. So Chris talks about he had a family dinner and how things kind of went left because Lexi got in her feelings. From a material standpoint, she didn't get all the things or the trappings of success, so to speak, that the other kids got, because Kayla got a Mercedes and she didn't get one. Hell, I would feel a damn way too. Now that I think about it, I sure would. Now, as I said in the other video, there are 4 kids, and biologically 3 of the kids are Nell's, okay? And then Chris has his daughter from a previous marriage, and they have the 2 together. Now, if all the other 3 kids who are Nell's biological kids, they're getting Dodge Chargers, BMWs, and Benzes and shit like that, and I got to save up $1,600 and work a whole damn summer to get an old ass Grand Am, shit, I will feel away too. So Chris, if you get your other baby girl that you share with Nell Benzes and shit, then get the other girl a damn Benz. You know, get her a luxury car, get her something brand new, which they ended up doing. So I see how she feel away. Shit, I'm just saying. But yeah, in all seriousness, she does feel neglected and mistreated because in her young mind, she was equating material things to love. Like, why am I the black sheep? Why can't I get these same things? I'm just saying. So, Chris, that was your biological baby. And maybe because that's not Nell's biological child and she wasn't raising her in the same household, I don't know. Maybe she didn't feel the need to buy your daughter from a previous relationship a car, even though, oh, that's sticky. That should have been your job, Chris, to do so. I'm just saying. So anyway, in a nutshell, Chris felt like Lexi's being disrespectful and not necessarily grateful for the things that he and Nell have done for her. But speaking of disrespect, they transition over to when Martell goes over to visit Nell and how he dropped off that damn Inez wine for the dinner, okay? And now here's my thing with Fletcher, with Chris Fletcher or whatever. So, admittedly, Martell got slick out of the mouth, arguing back and forth like a little Mitch with your wife, raising his voice. And his whole defense is, woman, like, don't disrespect no man if you don't want a man to disrespect you. Well, a woman shouldn't talk to a man like that. I'm like, who the F are you? To where no one can speak to you a certain way, but yet you breathing down people's throat, okay, hollering and screaming, acting like a damn wild banshee, okay? So she matched that same energy with your ass. I'm just saying, Martell. I know he's trying to be peacemaker. He's trying to get to the bottom of how things escalated to that point. Like he said last episode, they're like brother, sister, whatever. I would be like, no, don't talk to my goddamn wife like that. Now, Martell did say that he's not trying to come down on the men's wives, but if he does, he's willing to have a conversation with the husband. He has the emotional intelligence of an ant. Hell, an ant may have more emotional intelligence. He just has no control over himself. He just goes ballistic at the drop of a dime. But I wish Chris would have cussed his ass out and been like, don't be talking to my wife like that. Kind of how Courtney checks Marcel. But Martell has this thing, again, a woman shouldn't overly disrespect a man and not expect a man to come back at a woman. Him and that rhetoric of the manosphere really gets on my nerves. And I wonder who raised Martell, okay? I know Miss Marlene, and I say that rhetorically. I know she had a boyfriend, supposedly, that was around when Martell was growing up that didn't really take an interest in him, per se, going to his games and all that. But I wonder how he treated Miss Marlene. Was he abusive to her? Did he yell? Did he scream at her? Did Miss Marlene cower to the man and just felt like, well, a man's going to be a man. You got to respect the man. But I wonder, did Miss Marlene coddle him? Did she hero worship Martell? You just so great, baby. You just this, you just that. Did she overcompensate for the fact that the father was locked up so he wasn't around? I just wonder, did he see his uncles, his grandfather, some man mistreat a woman? Because he is borderline abusive. Hell, he is emotionally abusive. And I think quasi, I hate to say it, allegedly, shit, I think he probably crossed the line and damn near could have become physically abusive at times with Melody. And I do believe he would snatch up coleslaw in a heartbeat, okay? And I know we've seen episodes where he has little scratches and nicks and shit on his forearms, probably fighting coleslaw. Melody, he probably grabbed her up, and who knows, child, she could have scratched his ass too. And allegedly, in my opinion, who knows? Because he seems like the type to get physical. But anywho, I digress. I just want to know who raised him and what did he see. I feel like Martell is fundamentally flawed, honey. He has some bad character flaws. But anyway, let me continue. But Martell does feel like that Miss Nell is always taking Melody's side, blah, 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 and meaning that she's harping on him for cheating. Well, Negro, you did cheat. She didn't lie. But what about Melody? If she cheated, it's because your ass cheated first. Point blank, period. Child, moving right the F along. So they get to the part to where Chris Fletcher says him and Nell, they attended the name changing ceremony for Melody Cherie. He talks about how nice it was. And he keeps saying Holt, Holt. He was like, you mean Rogers? But I don't like the fact, and I know we talked about this in other videos, how he was like, what's so great about the name Rogers? Negro, what's so damn great about the name Holt? Okay? Child, them damn wannabe bank robbers and felons and shit like that in your bloodline. Negro, if you don't set your ass down talking about what's so great about the name Rogers, what's so great about the name Hope? Honey, Melody marrying you, child, that's the best thing that ever came to that name. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Child, anywho, not to beat that dead horse, but he just got some nerve. But the fact is finally hit home for the 100th time that she's gone, bruh. She ain't coming back. She don't F with you no more. She don't F with you, period, okay? Which is sadistic, egomaniacal, misogynistic ours, okay? Looking like a fake-ass Ray Charles in them glasses on. But I would be remiss if I didn't say this, but for Martell to allege that he hopes that Melody having that name-changing ceremony was for the right reasons, as if she's trying to do him in and to destroy him. All of this was a big plot and a ploy to destroy you. Negro, if you don't get over yourself with your egomaniacal, narcissistic ours, okay? My goodness. I'm like, who died and made your ass King Tut, okay? You think you're the second coming of Christ. But I just want to know, who are you to think that she did all of this, spent all of this money just to be vindictive to get back at you? His mind, child. Honey, the elevator does not go all the way to the top. That mother sucker is stuck mid-level, okay, in between floors. Child, and it's a little crazy man banging on the damn door, his brain trying to damn get out. Ooh, he is so scrambled. But I will say this, though. He does a lot of deflecting and projecting, and he thinks she's trying to destroy him because guess what? You're trying to destroy her. And his pea-brain mind, he's thinking that the things that he tries to do to her, that she too wants to do it to him. Child, the paranoia of it all. You need to go sit on somebody's couch, bro. But anyway, now moving right the hell along. All right, so Kimmy and Letitia meet up. They're having a play date. Honey, they're going to a spa to get a vaginal steam, child, a yoni steam for their little lady parts, right? And according to Kimmy, low-key, she's doing this to help out her libido so she can please Maurice's ass, okay? Because according to him, they're not having sexual intercourse enough, okay? So the spa owner or the lady that works in the spa or whomever, so she takes them back to the room. They have to go get undressed because they're going to have a natural steam that's going to go up through the vaginal canal using herbal treatment, okay? She says it's going to make it gushy and it's going to clean that area out and all that good stuff. Anyway, so Letitia's like, well, what if you think you're pregnant? So the lady tells her, essentially, this is not a good idea to do this if you think you're pregnant, especially during your early stages. So in the confessional, Tisha's like, after they had their trip to Destin, Florida, her and her girlfriends went to Vegas for some me time or whatever. She said she started feeling sick, throwing up. She started gaining weight. And in her mind, she said that usually there's something baking in the oven. No, I say differently, Letitia. Girl, child, you know damn well you ain't pregnant. Well, anyway, Tisha goes on to take a pregnancy test and she's playing peekaboo with the damn results. And Kimmy's like, what you think, you pregnant? Like, ain't no way, and blah, blah, blah. Child, you better be happy that you ain't. But anyway, to get to the point, she's saying she's gained all of this weight and she's been eating a whole lot. She feels stressed out. So anyway, after they figure out that Tisha's not pregnant, Tisha was like, oh, this is something we could have had for the girls. But as they kind of sit down and talk, Tisha's like, well, she's kind of glad everybody wasn't there. So they kind of flash back to when Melody, Tisha, and Kimmy, when they met up, she feels like Melody is browbeating her, so to speak, about Kiki. She's tired of having a conversation about Kiki, blah, blah, this. Well, Kimmy had to snap her back to reality, and she's just like, did you think won't nobody gonna ask you about all that water she splashed up in your face, honey? That's a conversation point, okay? And this is a reality show. Yeah, they gonna ask you about that. Well, I don't want to keep having that conversation, and it's like beating a dead horse, according to Tisha. I know you not talking. Because when Melody and Martell were through the height of their problems, you browbeat the hell out of Melody, wanting to know her damn business about Martell and him cheating, about coleslaw, him buying BMWs, allegedly real or imagined, and everything that she was going through. You wanted to pull it all out of her to be nosy. Not that you really cared. You just wanted to be nosy to throw the shit in her face. Now the shoe was on the other foot. When someone wants to put you on a hot seat and ask your ass questions, you don't want to answer any questions. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. So Letitia had stormed off when they were all in the gym or whatever, when they had met last episode, because she didn't want to talk about Kiki. So basically, Kimmy does tell Tisha after she left that Melody said that she felt like Letitia's energy was off because she had been acting different ever since they got together for that comeback group meeting, right? Because Tisha did have an attitude when Melody made suggestions and things like that. She said, I thought that this was the reason why we all got together, okay? To talk about what could go better, what could be improved, or what could have been done differently with the Black Expo. Well, even though Carlos King flew down there and told all of them they gonna stop effing with Melody, y'all need to be on y'all best behavior. And Tisha, she's trying at least. She's feigning a report and pretending like she is, but deep down, passive aggressively, it still comes out that you feel a way about Melody. We all know it. But anyway, she does tell Kimmy, no, it's not about her. She didn't have an issue with her. It's just that she just feels stressed out and overwhelmed. Now, ain't that about a blip? Now, when Melody then wants you all in her business, and she said, I just need some time. I'm going through a divorce. This man is taking me through it. But you don't want to be my friend. Child, anyway, you can't make this shit up. The hypocrisy of it all. Now you understand when the shoe is on the other foot. When people want to be left alone, it's not about you. They just need a minute. But anywho, but she was like, yeah, we were cutting up at the cookout. I don't have a problem with her. So now I do feel for Letitia in this moment. Basically, she tells Kimmy that she feels stressed out. She has a lot going on. And Kimmy's like, well, is it about life in general or was it about the meeting? But here's my thing, just to keep it a stack and just to keep it a buck. I think that primarily Tisha is stressed out because she is not living in her truth. She's living a lie, so to speak. And that has to be stressful as fuck, living a lie. It's almost like imposter syndrome, trying to be something or someone that you're not, okay? And she even made the statement that she may tell Marceau that she may want to go back to being a stay-at-home wife. Damn it, that's what you are. What are you doing? Because you're faking for the camera, even though you own 85% of that damn business on paper, because y'all wanted to get those set-asides for those contracts and everything like that. Being a woman small-owned business, child, you're just a figurehead. But you're trying to fake in front for the gram and for the camera. Because case in point, you're stressed out, Tisha, because you're trying to live someone else's life. She wanted to be Melody Cherie for the longest time, okay? That has to be stressful as fuck. All those seasons that she was harboring those ill feelings of hate and envy and jealousy toward Melody, it has to be stressful and exhausting as fuck. And on top of that, people react different to stress. That's why she's gaining all that damn weight, because stress makes some people eat, whereas with some people, you drop a lot of weight because you can't eat. But you, Tisha, my dear, you're stress eating, okay? You got that BBL and a few procedures, in my opinion, to respark that seemingly waning interest that Marceau has in you. Lack thereof. He doesn't have any interest in you. So you figure if you recontour your body, that may grab his attention. We see not. He's still going to Africa. We learned as they do the preview for the next episode, he went to Columbia or some damn where they got a brothel or whatever because he went to some damn bachelor party, child. And as they say, when you get a BBL and you're transferring fat from different parts of your body, what is it? Sucking up the fat cells from the stomach, wherever the hell, or they taking fat from the back, wherever the hell they taking the fat from and putting it in your derriere. Child, when you gain weight, shit, now it's all up in your face, your shoulders, your arms, and every damn where else, honey. But anyway, the fat obviously is redistributing throughout her body. But to get to the point, child, it has to be stressful not living in your truth, being inauthentic and disingenuous on the camera, feigning a rapport, trying to be something you're not. You and he are not a damn power couple. And it has to be freeing and releasing at some point for you just to say, I done married a ain't shit Negro. He ain't about nothing, child. I'm trying to do everything in my power to keep this damn man in this sham of a marriage. Girl, just come clean to the camera, child. You won't feel as stressed out. You're hollering at the kids and everybody. But in all seriousness, she said that Marceau, according to her, suggested marriage therapy. I think she meant marriage counseling. And Kimmy was like, oh, did he really? But honey, yes, Tisha, living a lie is stressful, okay? And then y'all being sued by Zen Garden and this one and that one, $5.5 million, $6 million lawsuits on top of your head. Yeah, that's damn stressful, okay? Of course it is. And y'all not talking about that for the damn camera. And y'all trying to feign a report. But anywho, moving right the hell along. So anyway, and I'll just touch on this part really quickly. So they go over to Chris Fletcher's office, and Chris Jr. Flex, is that his nickname or whatever. So they have a conversation. They kind of reflect back on the family dinner, how things went left. I don't like the fact that Chris discusses Lexi, his oldest daughter, with the other kids on camera, like, she's the problem. Things went left. She blew up. She got upset, which is true. She did get upset and things did kind of go awry once she brought up the recurring theme of everyone gets Mercedes, new cars, and BMWs and all this, and I don't get shit or whatever. So that would kind of make you feel like a damn black sheep. But anywho, but more importantly, it seems like Chris Jr. is going through some things, and it was a good bonding moment for them because he seems to be going through some form of depression. He says that he's not sleeping at all. He may get up 2, 3 in the morning. Did he say he was going to the lake? He said he was going somewhere. I couldn't make heads or tails of where he said he goes at 2, 3 in the morning, maybe to clear his head. But Chris is like, look, I'll drop everything for you. He breaks down in tears. He's very emotional because he doesn't want anything happening to him. Because unfortunately, we know that sometimes young people or people of all ages tend to unalive themselves when they feel isolated, depressed, or they feel they don't have anyone to talk to. So I'm glad that he made it crystal clear, like, look, you can call me anytime. If you need to call me 2, 3 in the morning, hell, I'll talk to you. I think Chris Jr. said that he is open to going to counseling, so that's a good thing. So I'm glad that they had that conversation. But I do wonder why he didn't join the military, go to college, find a trade, because as I said in the other video, both parents are successful. Did they try to guide them for a career path? Having those conversations in high school, what do you want to do with your life? Because I think I heard Chris Jr. said that he'd go to the studio. I'm like, oh, Lord, not trying to be a goddamn rapper. And nothing against rappers, but Lord, let that be a side hustle, child. Let that be a side thing or whatever. Because it seems like he's just working for his brother or maybe working for Chris, little odd jobs or whatever. Did they not guide him to have a game plan? It seems like he didn't have a sense of purpose, right? And he feels like the family kind of harps on him for that. And it could be that he feels like he's not good enough, or he's feeling like he's not up to par, he's not up to stuff or good enough, or what have you. But again, I am glad that they had that conversation. Because in a confessional, Chris Sr. said that he understands himself being a black man, feeling depressed, feeling isolated, and not having anyone to talk to. All right, so anyway, let's move right along. So now the scene transitions. It cuts over to Tiffany and Big Lou. Tiffany's sitting on the couch. She's folding clothes. She's holding a baby. She calls in Lewis. He comes in. I didn't like the fact that he sees her trying to fold the clothes, holding the baby, that he didn't immediately grab the baby. I think she said something to the effect like, oh, don't you want to hold baby Ace, or don't you want to see daddy, or something like that. And so that was his cue to grab the baby. But anyway, they have the conversation and it kind of gets serious. And she just talks about feeling overwhelmed and she doesn't feel like herself and she's just wanting to snap out of it. And he's pretty much telling her, you're in denial. And she said that it never dawned on her until Lewis mentioned to her that she could be suffering from postpartum depression and is she's having a hard time adjusting to her new normal. She just thought they would have this beautiful baby. Things would just snap back because she's used to kind of being independent, doing her own thing. I think she's self-employed. She's like a little boss chick in her own right, running her own little show or whatever. And he's off with his baseball coaching career anyway with two teenage sons, a 16 and a 17-year-old. Like, girl, what did you think? A newborn baby, an infant. And Lewis, he did warn her. He did tell her, look, life is going to change. Are you sure you want to do this? Because I think he's in his early mid 40s. Tiffany maybe pushing mid 30s by now, I want to say. But anyway, she's feeling overwhelmed. At some point, she does break down in tears. I do like the fact that Lewis does seem to be engaging with the baby on the camera at a certain point. Because at first, I was side-eyeing his ass for a minute. So pretty much they break the fourth wall and they have the conversation of, with everything that's going on, do you think it's a good idea to be on a reality show right now? Because Tiffany talks about having to get up 4 or 5 in the morning to get her makeup done or whatever, and then she has to go to work amid all of that, and then sometimes filming late at night, and then they have the baby in tow. It's just a lot. That, and as Lewis mentioned, her mental state doesn't help everything that's going on because she's feeling overwhelmed. But anyway, in a nutshell, they're going to take a hiatus from the show, which I think is a good thing because she breaks down in tears. And I do feel sad for her in this moment. I did like them as a couple, and I thought they did bring a sense of balance to the show, especially before the Whitlows came on. Tiffany brought a level of messiness, and she meshed pretty decently with the other girls. She asked the hard questions. That I was really loving her earlier in the first half of the season, or whenever, child, so many seasons, where she just zeroed in on Sheree. So she does bring something to the show. It's a reality show, so you have to have, side characters, friend doves, and all that type of stuff. I just didn't like her coming at Kiki, but she had nothing else going on because Big Lou wasn't filming. But anyway, hopefully she can get her mental back together. Maybe the door is not completely closing. It's just a hiatus. They're just stepping out. And then once they kind of regroup, maybe the baby gets to walking a little bit. Once they can regroup and kind of get a better grasp on things, they can come back to the show. And hopefully they'll be on a reunion. But I do hope that Tiffany does get the help that she needs and she overcomes this hurdle. And hopefully she has a pretty decent support system in her friends and her family. So, but anyway, that was a mouthful and I'm tired of talking, child. But anyway, this is Sensibility Speaks. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, drop down in the comments and tell me what you think about this episode. Bye-bye. My regular, I'm talking